Hello again, everyone. This is my passport, right there. That's my passport. United States of America. I'm an American. As a free man and an American, I should be able to go to any country that's willing to accept my passport. That's a fundamental freedom. That freedom cannot be taken away from me without cause and due process. I should be able to travel anywhere in the world I want to go. Except that Donald Trump just took away a piece of my freedom. With the stroke of a pen, Trump has made it illegal for me to travel to the Democratic People's Republic of Korea or North Korea. I can't go. If I go anyway, it's 10 years in prison and a $50,000 fine. And why did Trump do this? Well, he offered several reasons why he did it, but the reasons are bullshit. Remember one thing, the first rule of political junkies everywhere. It's kind of the first law. Whenever the government gives you a reason why they're doing something, that's never the real reason. It's always something else. They always throw a bullshit reason out there. You know, we're doing this for that. In this case, Trump says, well, we're doing it for your own good, so that you don't go to North Korea and something bad happens to you. Well, clearly, again, that's just a load of horse bucky. That's nonsense. Because if Donald Trump sincerely cared about American safety in foreign countries, he would ban Americans going to Mexico. Right now, Mexico is a really bad place to go. You don't want to go down there. I think it was last year, or the year before, or the last year they were counting, something like 25,000 people were killed by the drug cartels. It's really, really bad down there. These narcos they make ISIS look like Boy Scouts. There's a lot of them, and they're fighting each other. And they kill whomever they want to kill. And the government seems to be powerless to do anything about it. These narcos they follow a death cult. Santa Muerte. Here's the pictures. Santa Muerte, Our Lady of the Holy Death. And then there's a picture of Jesus Malverde, and he's the patron saint of narcos. So they make a religion out of this, these narcos, of killing people, of death. They go so far as to eat body parts of their victims. I mean, they fix them up in tamales and burritos and whatever. They have recipes for eating the flesh of people they've killed. So whatever's going on in North Korea isn't 1/1000th as bad as what's going on in Mexico. I don't go to Mexico. I stay the hell out of there. I might go across the border and just duck across the border into like Nogales or something. I wouldn't go to Tijuana right now. That's too dangerous. But Nogales, just south of me. But you know, what's going on just 200 miles south of where I'm sitting right now is far, far worse than what's going on in North Korea. But Trump says, oh, it's fine, go visit Mexico. So you see how that's a bullshit reason he gave. Well, we're doing it for American safety. You know, the sad case of Otto Warmbier. Well, unfortunately, in my opinion, the young man hung himself. Simply because the Obama administration didn't send somebody to check on his well-being, and the young man felt abandoned, and in his despair, nobody came to check on him. He was in a fragile emotional state. The government didn't check on him, and yet we get blamed for it, for what happened to Otto. You know, I mean, it was a sad thing, but sad stuff happens all the time. Look what's happened in Thailand. I just read I wished I had the article to show you. But people get busted in Thailand all the time for dope, carrying dope. Americans do. I think there's 44 Americans in Thailand, Thai prisons right now that are serving life sentences. They'll never be allowed to go. And ordinarily, Thailand would let people go, but the American government signed a treaty some time ago with Thailand, and it has something to do with the 1 kilo rule. If you get caught with less than 1 kilo of cocaine or heroin or whatever it is, you get to come back home and serve your sentence in American prison. If it's more than 1 kilo, you stay in Thailand for life. And so the United States government sentenced 44 people to life in prison in Thailand when before the treaty, Thailand would let them go. Okay, fine, serve 10 years and then go back and serve the rest in your country, and what happens after that is none of our business. So you see how the United States government can be so duplicitous. And then the second reason Trump gives is, well, that money you spend in at Kim Jong-un over there in North Korea is going to help prop up his regime. Seriously? I mean, after all the billions and billions of dollars that the United States has sent to corrupt dictators all over the world, and my couple $100 going to Kim Jong-un is going to, how does that, it doesn't even compute. And now look at all the money that the United States is sending to Iran for their weapons program. Iran has promised they won't build whatever nukes and this thing, but they're going to build them. Everybody knows that. So this idea that my few $100 are going to help Kim Jong-un is just nonsense. What's the real reason that Trump says I can't go to North Korea? I don't know. It's hard to figure out because Trump can be so capricious. He says one thing one day, says something else the next day. He changes his mind. He says something he didn't say, or he didn't say something he said, or he just goes back and forth, And so, but why did he do it? Well, I'd have to guess, but I think maybe one morning he rolled out of bed. He's probably dreaming about North Korea all night. He rolled out of bed, jumped up and said, fuck Kim Jong-un, and you're going to stick it to his tourism business because that's the source of hard cash. And so he said, well, we can't have that hard cash going to Kim Jong-un. And, but Trump doesn't realize that he didn't screw Kim Jong-un. He screwed me. Because I was planning a trip to North Korea next spring. So now that's off the table. And Trump is the only president since Lyndon Johnson who has done something that has screwed me directly. In 1967, Lyndon Johnson tried to send me to Vietnam. He failed, but he tried. And now here, all these years later, 50 years, what is it? A long time. Trump comes along and sticks it to me. And now, apparently, if I still want to go, I have to fill out a whole form exchanging why I want to go to North Korea and this and that, and then I have to submit it to the State Department. And in essence, I have to beg to have them reinstate one of my fundamental rights as an American citizen. Other countries can go to North Korea. Why can't I? America brags about being the freest nation on earth. We're supposed to be the lighthouse on the hill, shining out for democracy, setting an example for all the world. And yet Chinese people can go to North Korea. Russians can go to North Korea. Brits, Europeans, everybody, except me. You see how that works? I'm thinking about trying to figure out a way around it, but I don't know how I'm going to. we'll see. You know, maybe if I can or not. I don't know. But, you know, I said something about Donald Trump earlier, and it bears repeating. That Donald Trump is like one of these rich people, these mega wealthy people, and movie stars do it as well. They create their own little world, and then they populate it with creatures of their own choosing. And all of these creatures kiss their ass. And if they don't kiss their ass, they're out on their ear. So all of the creatures in Trump's little world are telling him only what he wants to hear. And no bad news. He doesn't want to hear anything bad. So only good. And that's one of the problems, that information that Trump gets is filtered through his subordinates. You know, I don't think the guy, when's the last history book he's read? I don't think he's read anything. The second reason that Trump probably did this is to throw a bone to the swamp creatures in Washington, D.C. I mean, the swamp creatures is another name for the deep state. And the deep state, they have no loyalty to the Constitution. First Amendment, I've never heard of it. Fourth Amendment, what's Fourth Amendment? Fifth Amendment, forget about it. See? So none of these people understand basic human civil rights of people. The deep state does whatever they want to do. And if it's screwing me out of my freedom of travel, what do they care? And Trump is simply, you know, he's being crushed by the deep state, so he's trying to throw him something and say, okay, fine, here, I'll give you this one. And of course, that's never going to be enough, and eventually they're probably going to crush Trump. But, you know, did Trump stop and think that there are probably 1,500 to 2,000 Christians working in North Korea right now for charitable organizations? They're doing things like, they're just doing all kinds of things, almost like a kind of a Peace Corps. And, you know, is Trump going to tell these people to leave? All these Christians that are working in North Korea and been working there for many years. Oh, well, now you got to leave. Is he going to throw them in prison if they don't? How's that going to work? How about the faculty at the Pyongyang University of Science and Technology, otherwise known as PUST? That university was built by donations from evangelical Christians, and the faculty, or I believe they're all pretty much evangelical Christians, and some of them are Americans. They all volunteer their time. And North Korea knows they're evangelical Christians, and they welcome them with open arms. They just can't proselytize, which they don't. But they give people a very good education. And these the evangelical Christians at PUST University, they educate the elites of North Korea. Is Trump going to make them come home? And if they don't, throw them in prison? Is that what he's going to do? So where else is Trump going to prevent me from going? Because if he can prevent me from going to North Korea, then he can prevent me from going to a lot of places. He's going to stop me from going to China. How about Russia? You know, I'd like to visit Russia here pretty soon. He's going to say, well, you can't go to Russia because we have sanctions on Russia. And we have sanctions on China. You know, the United States sanctions everybody. They got sanctions all over the place. Sanctions here, sanctions there. They get pissed off at somebody, and Washington, D.C. slaps sanctions on people. So wherever there's a sanction, am I going to be banned from going? Is that what they're going to do? Probably. You know, I wouldn't put it past them. So, you know, it's needless to say I've lost confidence in Trump. I've lost confidence in his ability to do the right thing. I supported him for basically two main reasons. One, he wasn't Hillary Clinton. Now, in retrospect, maybe Hillary Clinton would not have banned travel to North Korea simply because her husband had gone a couple, 3 times. So maybe I was wrong. I don't know. But I supported Trump because he wasn't Hillary. And I supported him because he was the least worst choice of 16 bad choices. The Republicans put up just a regular, I mean, the Republican candidates were just like the scene out of Star Wars, that bar scene, where you get all these weirdos. And you got to pick the least offensive weirdo. Pick Trump. And I sincerely thought that Trump would, he bragged about his negotiating powers. So I sincerely thought, well, Trump is going to get in there, he's going to bring the sides together, he's going to negotiate. Just like I was fooled by Obama. I mean, when Obama started running back in 2007, well, I like this guy. I like what he has to say because he seemed calm and he's going to bring both sides together. He's going to be the mediator. And I said, that's what we need. I don't care if it's a Democrat or Republican. We need a mediator. And I didn't support Obama because he's black. I support him because I thought that he would bring both sides together. Well, I was fooled. I was bamboozled. I even donated $25 to his campaign. I want my $25 back. So I was fooled on Obama, and I'm fooled on Trump, because Trump doesn't know anything about negotiating. He doesn't. I know 10 times as much about negotiating than Donald Trump does. Because when you sit down across a table with somebody you're negotiating with, you want to find out what he needs, what he wants. Then you want to try to get it to him, or get most of it, or get something. You would try to, that's part of negotiation. Each side gets something. And Trump, he sits down with Kim Jong-un, he's like, okay, drop your nukes. What kind of a negotiating starting point is that? It's not going to happen. Trump is not a negotiator. Trump is probably, he's probably as big a bullshit artist as Bill Clinton. I mean, Clinton was a used car salesman. Trump is a different kind of bullshit artist, whereas Clinton was purely politics. Bill Clinton was a political animal. Trump is a business guy. He's still salesman, still bullshit artist. But Trump's idea of negotiating is, okay, we'll do it my way. And, so what happens if Trump runs, if he survives his term and runs in 2020? Will I support him? If I can't go to North Korea, no. Trump has lost my support. I certainly won't support the Democrats. I won't support a liberal. That's not going to happen, but I won't support Trump. And I probably won't support any Republican, to tell you the truth. But I'm certainly not going to support Trump because of, that he denied me the freedom to go wherever I wish to go in this world. That's a deal breaker right there. That's when him and I part ways. So, will I actively campaign against him? I don't know. I'm going to say some things that are going to be pretty critical about him. I'm sure he doesn't care. Yeah, I'm back to where I was 2012, when I really just flatly don't give a shit what happens. Don't give a rat's ass, because both sides are equally as bad. You're just choosing from side A, side B, Democrats, Republicans. And look at the Republicans in Washington. They can't get anything done. They're too busy squabbling and fighting. And this is not going to change. You know, and so whoever comes in there as president is not going to change anything. So, yeah, I'm pretty pessimistic. But this business of saying I can't go wherever I wish to in the world is just silly. When citizens of other countries can, and as an American and a free man, I cannot. I'm probably going to write a letter to Trump, and with the full understanding and knowledge that it won't do a damn bit of good and he'll never see it. But I'll write the letter and then I'll put it up. I'll read it to you and put it up on a video. That way people can see what I've written. But yeah, it'll be pithy and to the point. So anyway, thanks for watching, and as always, leave your comments and suggestions in the space below, and I'll see you in the next video.